Hello and welcome to Age is No Barrier. That's the name of this YouTube channel. My name is Mark. I'm a Kiwi ultra distance running living here in beautiful Cancun in Mexico. And in this video, I just want to talk to you about negative splitting your runs in training and how that can help you become a better runner. Hello and welcome to my channel. If you haven't been here before, I'm a 58-year-old Kiwi guy living in Mexico who's training to be an ultra distance marathon champion in my age group. And this is my journey, and I'm sharing lots of different videos about running and about ultra distance marathons and all that sort of stuff. So if that's something that presses your button, well then you can press my subscribe button and that'll help me out as well along this particular journey. So I thought I'd talk today about negative splitting in your training and how important that can be to help you become a better runner. And I've been experimenting with this now for over a year, and it's a very, very good technique to make me be a better runner. So of course, ultra distance marathon runners run a lot of miles, and the more time we spend on our feet, the better. I would propose that that's actually the case for all runners. I think the more running you're able to do injury-free is a very, very good thing for you. It helps your technique, you get stronger as a runner, and you really build up your endurance. So when I talk about my particular training regime, at the moment I'm 3 weeks into my latest training block. And this morning I went out for a 12-kilometer run, just a nice easy run this morning. But what I do is I break that run up into 2 runs of 6 kilometers. And I focus on coming home in the last 6 kilometers faster than I did in the first 6 kilometers. Now there's a couple of parameters that I use for this. The first one is I also try and keep my heart rate under control for that whole run, because I'm a big proponent of the Maffetone method. So trying to do a lot of my runs in very low heart rate and trying to make them as easy as possible. I do interval work once a week, and that just helps me do a little bit of speed into my running. So making sure that I go out and I start off by making sure that first 6 kilometers is at a nice steady pace, but I know that when I come back in the final 6 kilometers, I can actually put the pace on a little bit and come home stronger. And what this does is it actually builds up your endurance a little bit more, and you'll feel yourself getting fitter and fitter. What typically happens when we go running on the longer distances is that we start out too fast. And the biggest trap that a lot of runners fall into is that first 1 or 2 kilometers is way above the pace that you should actually be doing. So the key here when you do a negative split run is that you're actually very conscious of making sure that first kilometer or 2 or mile or 2 is a lot slower, and you're keeping your pace under control. And then when you get to the halfway point and you turn around, and sometimes it's good to do an out and back run when you're doing this type of run, and that's what I did this morning. So I ran down to the end of a big avenue here in Cancun, and I literally turned around at 6 kilometers down to the end of the avenue from my place. I turn around and then I run back again. So I've got in my head all those little milestones along the way. I know exactly where I'm going to be at a kilometer marker, and I can build my mental strength around that, knowing that, okay, I've got 5Ks to go, I've got 3Ks to go, I'm in my last K, and I can put the pressure on as and when I need to. So to give you an example, this morning my second part of my run was 45 seconds faster than my first part of my run. Now it doesn't sound a lot, but it's a very, very good benefit when you're able to run that second part of the run faster than the first part. Now if you look at a lot of the elite marathon runners around the world, both men and women, the strategy they're using at the moment to run some of these incredibly insane marathon times is actually negative splitting their races. So they go out, they run an incredible fast first half of the race, and then they try to bring it home actually faster. And if you watch Kelvin Kipton and what he's done in his last couple of races, in particular in Chicago, you'll see how fast he brings it home in the second part of the race. Now this is no coincidence. He doesn't just do this as a one-off. He's practicing this in training, and it doesn't matter whether you're the best marathon runner in the world record holder, or whether you're just Joe average like you and me. You can get out there and you can practice this same strategy. So next time you're out there, try this strategy. It probably is best to do something up to 5Ks or over in terms of the distance of your run to really get the benefits from this. So a minimum of 5Ks, and you can do 2.5Ks at a steady pace, and then the second half of the run to come home a little bit faster. Now if you do this in the beginning and you're only 5 seconds faster in the second half, that's perfectly fine. Don't get stressed about that at all. It's like everything in the world of running, you need to have patience and you need to have consistency. So just build yourself up over several runs and you'll start to feel that strength coming in the bottom end of your run or the back half of your run, and that's what I'm doing at the moment. So as I build up my mileage and I get into 20 kilometers, 30 kilometers and even 40-kilometer runs, I'm going to make sure that I'm able to run that back half of the run faster than I'm running the first half of the run. Now this doesn't mean you go out there and you're sprinting and you're putting yourself into threshold pace or anything like that. It's about finding that fine balance that works, and often what you need to do is you need to slow down a lot in the first half of your run. And as I said earlier in the video, most people run the first part of their run too fast anyway, and they'll end up struggling when they come home. Now one of the ways you can measure the results that you're having with this is as you do more and more of these runs, you can actually see how much slower you can get for the first half of your run and then come home faster in the second part. And that's going to tell you that you're building strength, you're building endurance, but you're also building a bit of speed and you're able to hold on to it. So make sure you don't redline your heart rate when you're doing this. This is not what it's about. It's not about sprinting when you come back on that second part of the run. It's about holding a nice steady pace that's just a fraction faster than what you went out. And then when you come to translate this into race conditions, you'll find that you're passing a lot of people in the second part of your race, because most people in a race situation, they go out too fast. Their ego gets the better of them. They get competitive because they've got someone in front of them that they think they should be beating. And by the time they get to that 80% mark of the race distance, they start to fall over, and people lose a lot of time typically in that last 20% of the race. So if you're someone that trains around negative splitting your training sessions and then translating that into race conditions, then you're going to be passing a lot of people in the back end of your races. So there we go. That's a little video about negative splitting your training runs. Let me know if you already do this today and what benefits you've seen from that. And if you do get out there and try it, drop me a comment below. I'd like to know how you get on and how you feel about this. And don't forget, give yourself some patience. Let it work out over a few weeks. Don't just do it for one run and think, oh, that's not going to work for me. Anything to do with running, you've got to be consistent. Okay, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. If you like my content, want to follow my journey as an ultra distance runner here in Mexico, hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you again really soon with another video about my journey. Until then, take care, stay well, and adios from Cancun in Mexico.